Alright, so I guess we're live. Is this thing on?
Is this on?
Well, I guess we'll find out if the audio works soon enough, and if it doesn't, then
We're probably fine with that.
it'll backdrop there.
All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome to the YouTube channel, first and foremost. This is going to be the first in a lifetime series of videos. We are here with Dustin Davis, and we're basically introducing you to him first and foremost, his company, companies, where they've gone, where they've started at.
It's weird to say it like that.
Yes.
Companies.
Where you're going, what your future's going to look like. This is just going to be a very rudimentary video, just to kind of let you know the person behind what the online presence is, and why you should not just follow, but why you should come to all the things that are in the works right now that you're going to be seeing in later videos. So without further ado.
Well, we've kind of been told before that like it would be entertaining to follow us around with a camera.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff that we've gotten into over the years.
Yep.
And it seems kind of weird, but we've watched the exact same stuff unfold on TV. There's plenty of shows that are made from stuff that are just like us, and I'm actually glad that turned off. You know, now we don't have to pay attention to it. We just talk.
Yep.
But where we are, where we come from, there's been a lot of change, man.
Yeah, there's
been a lot of change.
what you all can't see is where we're sitting. First off, we're in a nice big old garage that Dustin had built, with profits from the business. This shows where growth can go for you more than anything else. It's just going to be the big important piece of this is where you can start from, whether you're in your teens, where that can go. Everyone has that dream that they want. Everyone wants to see themselves by X age somewhere, right? Because everyone always asks you in business, what's your 5-year plan?
Yeah.
The evolution of a 5-year plan these days is actually hilarious, because you can plan something and then one video goes viral and that plan can change overnight.
Everything. It's just like construction. I mean, construction changes and everything.
So, starts at the beginning.
All right, so let's start from humble beginnings. I think I gained my work ethic as a very young man, working and following my pat ball around on his job sites. He was a construction, he was a foreman, he was a general contractor by all rights. He built his own homes. I can take you to him right now. He's still alive and well, bless his heart. But that's where it came from. And I was blessed to have him as a kid, man, following every summer. It was just me and him. And then I joined the Army at 18, and that sent me in a whole different world that I needed to. Because, you only know what you know, and you only know what your surroundings are, And when you've been born and raised in a small town,
There's a whole world out there.
there's a whole big world out there. And then the internet has brought so much of that like to people's homes, I mean, they're sitting here in other countries watching this stuff. And I have a fan from Africa who wants to come here and work for me, man. That blows my mind.
It's the wildest thing when you think about it too, like who's going to be watching this video.
Yeah.
Where it can go.
Well, and then you put it online and it's there forever.
Yeah.
If you want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think if that's a whole other topic, but I'm pretty sure everything is always online and they're always watching. We need to have aluminum hats on. That's another YouTube channel.
There's aluminum under the shoe.
Yeah, that's a whole other day. But okay, so back to the story, because that's what we're all here for. That's what I'm devoting my Sunday for. That's what you're devoting your Sunday for. This is obviously interesting enough for us to talk about it. So let's get back to the topic. Joined the military, went to war, had a family, created a family, had a little boy. Very quickly realized that the military was not for me. I knew that it was a short stint plan. I knew that it was a stepping stone, but think that at that time, as a young man, I thought that was my only option, you know, and that was the only way that I was going to effectively get away from here, home, and I needed to get away to experience life. I needed to figure some shit out. So, joined the military, had a family, got out, come back home, bought my first house at 21, and I told him I did it before I got out of the Army. I told him I was gonna stay in, so that's how they gave me the loan. And then I came back home unemployed, but I went to school, used my GI Bill, collected some money, and then one of my friends, an acquaintance, friends is a term I'll use lightly, an acquaintance told me what he did. He had cool guns, he had a cool truck, he had cool shit.
Yep.
He had him at a gun range.
He had the life you wanted.
He had cool shit, man. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna have cool shit. And I said, what do you do? And he said, I mow yards. I was like, get out of here, dude. And I was like, what's a yard, man, you know? He's like, depending on the yard, 40 or 50 bucks. How many yards you doing?
Yeah, you're doing the math in your head. And you're like, that's
he's like
1,000 yards.
He's like, I do about 50 yards a week. And I was like, I went home that day and I told my ex-wife at the time, ex-wife, if I could just get to making $300 a week, $300 extra a week, I mean, I would feel like we're not starving.
Yeah.
We could stop going to your parents' house to eat dinner every night because we could actually afford to feed ourselves.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be something?
It's such a low setting when you're thinking about
right?
it.
Oh my God. Oh, but back then, dude, that was a blessing, and that's all I wanted. That was all I needed. And so I went to a yard sale. I got a piece of shit Toro rider mower that the deck was rusted out and it had a hole through it. So like you're literally playing with life every time you mow with that thing.
Yep.
But I got a few yards, and then my ex-father-in-law was nice enough to let me use his commercial mower once I proved that I was willing to work for it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then that only lasted for like 4 or 5 weeks, because very quickly I was mowing a yard out down the road. I was mowing a yard down the road, and this guy stopped, and he's like, hey, would you like to mow some of your yards? I said, well, sure, I'd love to. Absolutely. I didn't know what the situation was, but yes, door, opportunity, walk. And he said, well, I'm with the bank, and this was back in, Lord, Ron, this was back in 2012.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. That's when I just got out. So summer of 2013, spring of 2013, okay? I was in school, full-time credits, started mowing, piddling, and then he asked me if I wanted to start mowing more. Absolutely. So I didn't know it, but it was for a bank, and it was doing foreclosed homes. You would have seen some of the shit I had to do, man. I mean, like, I remember seeing needles, I remember all this crap, dude. It was rough times back then. People went, and then you'd have squatters that go into houses and stay there. So like when you went to a house, bro, you didn't know. So I went strapped every time. You didn't know what you was getting into. And so I dealt with that, and I ain't never made money like that before, Ryan. It blew my damn mind. I ain't never made money like that. I'd go out in one day and make $1,000. What nothing. So my expectation and then my understanding, and then I'm like, holy shit, if you just work for it, it's gonna be there, you know. And all you gotta do is ask. And so that progressed, and I finished school, finished that season, continued to grow it as I mowed it, you know. And then got a job at Eastman, career job as a mechanic with a associate's degree in mechanical engineering. I think that's what it is. I don't care. Not a proponent for college. Just watch my YouTube channel and come to my training, and I'll teach you all you need to know. That was a little drop down. Hey, I did that, and I didn't even mean to.
More to come.
But keep me on track.
Oh, so after that, you're saying, you know, you get $1,000 a day. You know, you're seeing real money coming in. So where was
through that
where
first
was the
season
change for that?
And then I got that job. I got the career job that I was. That's what I was going for, because mowing was just the stepping stone, right? You know as well as I do, dude. when you got money coming in like that, you're just as hungry as I am. You're not going to sit at home and let it go to somebody else. So I would work my day job, and then I would take my mower to work with me, and at 3 o'clock I would leave, sometimes a little bit earlier, but at 3 o'clock I would leave because I was antsy, man. I knew I was making pennies on the dollar there. It was just what I was supposed to be doing. That's what everybody told me I needed to do growing up. If you didn't work at Eastman, you weren't going to do nothing.
It's true, and especially too for any of you guys watching this worldwide. Eastman is look them up. It's Eastman Chemical Company. They're worldwide as well too. It's in this area. It is one of the best jobs to have. It's what growing up. That's what we were told. My father worked there. You can talk
the
about
roads were paved with gold.
Yes, it's called the gravy train. If you got an Eastman, you're on the gravy train for the rest of your life.
Yep.
The funniest part about all those things now is how not just culture is changing, but blue collar, right? So that is the new everything. All these, you talk about going to college. Well, I went to college. Graduated with an advanced animation degree. That's gotten me literally nowhere. So there's.
But we are going to use it.
Yes,
sir.
Of course. But it's all those things that you think you're trying to do to better yourself in life. It's the stepping stones that everyone has to take. You have to take your own path to get there.
And as long as you take advantage of every stepping stone and you
learn.
Yes.
They're gonna suck. It's going to be so hard. Some of those that could be ending in getting fired, divorces. There's always those things throughout
Each
life.
level up is the hardest thing
It is,
ever.
but you have to learn from those.
It's
always the choose the hard. You'll hear that from us so many times because you're having to literally do that every day of your life.
Yeah.
When you get up in the morning, that's the biggest thing I always tell myself to try to stay positive is it's my decision when I get up how that day is going to be.
Yes.
That's it. It doesn't matter what's going on, right?
100%.
You could have not gotten a single lick of sleep. You're good and ready to go to work and you're going to get your teeth just kicked in by something because you know it's coming. If you go in knowing it's going to be that way, you're going to have the worst day of your life.
Yep.
Make the choices every single day, which is why I'm a part of this. Is the growth that you have seen and the positivity and it's just a good place to be. You guys,
the feedback. It's going to be. I'm a big believer in the market is going to dictate where this goes.
Yes.
You cannot falsify anything anymore because it's real time. It's right now. You can go to my Instagram, your.next.landscaper, and watch our stories unfold, our days unfold on almost a routine basis. And as soon as you get more enveloped into it, it is going to be 100% on a routine basis because it's our job.
Yes. And the other big piece of this as well too is the word that you've used so much as well as proof, right? So proof means so many things in different aspects, right? The proof for you is, again, we'll get to this in very later videos, but we're going all the way back to the beginning for this one.
Just this is story,
this is introduction just to Dustin and where he's been. But you're going to hear us talk about Built Not Bought, which is a classroom setting, and we're in it right now.
Yeah, this is what this whole thing is.
This is the next step. This is why we're going all the way back to let you all know the where's, the why's, the how, so that you're getting the proof from Dustin, where he's been, what he's done. Those are the most important aspects of this that we're wanting you guys to take away from this is just that. You're not following some cult or any kind of weird stuff like that. This is just a person who's seen
who didn't mean to be here.
Yeah,
and
he's now just stepping and building himself along the way as well too. It's a very small business right now. The growth factors are 3 people. So the growth factors are huge for what this could be, but he's not doing that. It is going to be steps, just like he's taking all along. So
well, I've got stepping all the way out. I'm living my dream right now.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I never would have dreamed that this sitting here by a fire in a shop that I put up and paid for and developing content for people that I don't know that they're interested.
They're going to be sitting there watching this whole thing just to learn more, to invest with you and in you.
And I'm finding it, working on finding it in me that I owe it to them to deliver because there is value in the story, and as long as I deliver it correctly, there's a lot to be learned, because I've learned so much through the years of pain and trials, and we're going to learn a lot more, because good Lord, we're not done. And I know there's levels to it. You know, the problems that I have with $1 million business right now are going to be nothing when it's fully developed into the $100 million business that it could be, because that's when we stretch all the way out. And I'm talking
everything's
20 years from now.
Oh, of course, everything's very scalable in a construction industry, in any kind of industry. It's always scalable. It's called more labor, more crews, more production, right? The danger that we've talked about a lot is tempering the scale, making sure the growth is correct so that there is a profit margin with that.
Yes.
And we'll be starting a podcast soon as well, where we're going to dive into stuff like that.
And we're going to have guests, because I've got a lot of amazing friends through the years, man.
I know there's 1,005,000 podcasts out there, but ours is going to be very much freeform. We're going to have a topic, we're going to have guests.
You know, most of those guys don't even
sharing.
There's a lot of podcasts out there, but how many of them have done more than 20?
Right.
How many have done more than 5 or 10 even?
What you're seeing right now is going to be basically our podcast, where it's conversational. We're not putting on any kind of air.
There's no script.
Yeah,
we didn't think about this. I mean, we did.
We're not special. That's kind of what this comes down to as well. I just want you all in this one to see who Dustin is, the reasons why you should follow this, watch this video all the way to the end to see where those next steps could be for you in your future. So, Eastman.
Let's bring it home for him.
Done, Eastman.
I worked at Eastman for 5 years in total when I was going through that apprenticeship program with them, and still working on the side mowing the entire time. So it's not like I stepped right into just working for myself. It took time to develop that CRM, my client list, my repertoire, my word of mouth. It took time to develop that, and then I built a house. I bought property. I bought a lot of cool shit through those years. I bought your CTSV right when I quit my job, man. I actually quit my job, bottomed out my 401k, sold a truck I had some good equity in, could have used for my business.
You did all the things wrong.
And bought your CTSV.
You made every business decision wrong. Personal business decision
Every
wrong.
single one. Every single.
Burn it down. Yeah.
Burn the bridges, dude.
That's right.
Because at that point, there's no options. And I live, and you know this, I live in a zero options mentality. There's really, my foreman asked me the other day, he said, man, I know you've got to have like just a shit pile of money sitting somewhere. And I said, you're standing in it, brother.
It goes back into the business.
I was like, I am
reinvestment.
All in. All
and that was
in.
The funny thing is if you're, talk to any of your local places as well too. Reinvestment in the business is the growth. Right?
Yeah.
You don't take this huge paycheck.
You never take it home.
Yeah, your reinvestment honestly is all of your equipment, especially to have that growth factor from renting it to owning it, because you start seeing, your P&L statements. You're looking to see how much you're spending on your rent.
And you're like, my gosh, I spent $25,000 last year on an excavator. I could have bought one and spent $15,000.
Yeah, could have bought a used one that needs some upkeep.
Yep.
You don't have to have the brand new, the perfect. That's the biggest thing too, is do not think you have to keep up with the Joneses. Your ability, your work ethic, everything about you is
you
what's
do
going
what
to
you got to do to get on the job site. And if you've been, a lot of people ain't blessed with parents to teach them about credit, make them start establishing at 18 and teach them how important credit cards are.
Get that first, that first credit card, max it out every single month, pay it off.
Yeah, pay it off on your business. Go look into these companies. Don't pay for a yearly premium. You don't have to. There's plenty of companies out there that'll give you plenty of benefits to where you can take your entire family or one of your foremans. I've sent my foreman's family. I sent one of my ex-foremans, man. I sent him all the way to California. Him, his wife, and his kid, and back on my points.
Yep.
That my customers paid for.
And what he's talking about too is getting with your builder stores, right? Your Lowe's and all those too. There's always the benefit of that. Yes, there's fees and all these other stuff on there, but that's how you grow is based off of credit and everything else. There's so many podcasts also out there on how to get rich quick, all of those things.
None of it's quick.
None of it's quick.
None of it's quick.
You can make huge investments taking loaned money to do something, but that could ultimately fail just as quick, and now you're worse.
But you have to have it takes. I never seen myself as a business. I never thought I was doing a couple $100,000. I mean, if we're being real honest, sometimes I still find it hard to look at myself and what I have built as a business, because it's like
that's a good
I'm
thing.
just out here working.
That's a good thing though, because again, with a lot of businesses, we all know that there's arrogance with that. There is, again, they become the Joneses. I have this, I have that, right? You can be proud of yourself. And we've talked about this, the line of arrogance and knowledge, right?
We could be doing a podcast right in front of a supercar.
Correct. Oh yeah, we could do a lot of things instead of in a shop in front of a fireplace.
But that's not the content we're putting out there. That's not who we are.
It's not what we're wanting you to understand or where you can be. That's the biggest takeaway from these things, and why we're spending so much time now with the background.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
keep going. End of Eastman.
Got to the end of Eastman, and it was because I was forced. I was extremely tired at this point in time. I'd worked for many years, 5 daylight to dark, Monday to Saturday, every day I could, and then on Sunday was my makeup or clean up my equipment and maintenance my stuff and maybe mow my own damn yard, So I got tired, man. I'd built a house, I'd done a lot of stuff, and this was all before I was 30. And I got to the point where I couldn't wake up to my alarm in the mornings. I got to the point to where I would set it across the room, and I would have to get up and go turn it off. But I got to the point where I would sleepwalk, turn it off, get back in bed. And my wife at the time wouldn't get me up. And after a couple times of being late at Eastman, I got on final warning. And I didn't trust myself enough to not do it, because I'd already, I was doing everything that I could.
Yeah, you didn't know what could change.
And I was exhausting myself trying to figure out, and I knew, I was like, all right, so I'm either going to have to give up mowing or just scale way back. Go back to being happy with $300 extra a week, okay, instead of making $3,000 to $4,000 on the side.
Yeah. Okay.
Math wasn't math, dude. Prayed a lot about it, and I went to work. So I went to the biggest commercial site that I could find that was closest to my route, which was a site that was over by the airport, and it had 18 acres in total. I put a bid in for it, and it was yearly. It was a $30,000 to $40,000 bid. But at that time, my business was doing about $40,000 to $50,000, and I'm going to say around $30,000 to $35,000, and then the addition of the commercial contract put me at where I was at Eastman. Okay, so I was like, boy math.
Yep.
All right. Then I was like, and if I have all that time that I was given to Eastman to put back into it, and I'm already there, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Let's send it. Let's go. So I put in my screw it. Push the button. Push my retirement button from the corporate world. My boss tried to talk me out of it. He was like, Dustin, you've got the look. You could be in management. You could be in my position. I said, I respect that and I appreciate that. But how many times you walked in here and told me something you didn't believe in? How many times have you told me to do something that you didn't think was right? Can't pay me enough. It's not worth it.
Yep.
That's why I didn't stay long. You can't pay me enough. I'm not going to give up my character and what I believe in. And especially, thank God I didn't work there during 2020, during COVID. I would have definitely lost my damn job. Oh, I would have been screwed, man. We definitely wouldn't be sitting here, because I wouldn't have pushed through with the mowing. I wouldn't have followed through. I wouldn't have followed the stones. And so, quit, went all in that first season, and I worked by myself. Ended up hiring a guy, my first guy, halfway through. He was one of my clients, and he got laid off, and he needed a job, and he was awesome, man. TJ, if you're watching this dude, you set a standard that has been hard to uphold, and from a labor standpoint and from a character standpoint. He's just a good human, and it was an amazing experience, and it set me up for fucking failure, dude. It set me up for failure, you know, because it was hard to replace it. That situation didn't come back.
Yep.
And it doesn't exist in that world, in that maintenance. I'm not saying you typically just get a lower caliber of people that work inside of that.
Sure.
The higher caliber individuals are the ones that are running.
And you're talking about work ethic. You're talking about treating every yard as their own.
At the care.
Yes.
The care.
Correct.
That's always it.
Yes.
When I figured out if you can't develop care, you can develop skills, you can develop a trade, you can develop work ethic. You can't develop care ever. If they care, you can make everything else fall into place.
Pretty much so.
I believe in that thoroughly, and I'm sure I'll get proven wrong a couple more times in this lifetime. But I think I'll leave with that, with the knowledge. Left Eastman, mowed entirely. First year, had an amazing employee. It was a great experience. Set me up for failure. And my financial goal was to save up 3 months of bills, 3 months of everything.
What you're supposed to do at all times.
And I ate hot dogs and hamburgers until we got to that point. And once I got to that point, I ate whatever I wanted. We did whatever we wanted. That's when the vacations would start rolling in, because I had my nest egg and I was fine. And as long as I didn't touch that nest egg, it just grew typically,
Yep.
And that's when the toys would happen. That's why I'd buy cool shit during the winter, is because, well, I'd worked for it, and that's
Yep.
what it was for. And I knew that the tides would turn and the Lord would bring the sun back out again, and I would go to work just like it does every year. And if I didn't, it's much greater, and I'm not concerned about that. I've only concerned myself with what I can control, and I've only honed that skill in through the development of the businesses that I've created. God, that sounds weird saying it out loud, but saved up the money, enjoyed it through the winter. I went in that next season, I started doing a little bit more landscaping. I hired a couple more guys, made a lot of mistakes. I joined my first mastermind. It was, I'll go ahead and shout it out, Andy Frisella's Arte group. Joined that first mastermind, realized how screwed up my life was, and I did not belong there, sir. So much so that I actually just took me down my road of divorce and completely upending my life. But brother, I wouldn't be here if I would stay in that. One of the most important decisions I think any man can make throughout their life is who they choose to spend the rest of their life with. And it can either hold you back, it can push you forward, or it can hold you in a place of just damnation that swallows men up and swallows dreams. Because I think maybe it's just me, my personal experience. Maybe I'm just a weak-minded individual, but a woman has certainly, I can look back in my life and see that a woman depicts where I'm at.
I think really, that's in every marriage, for whatever profession, each husband or wife is, that all has to be there. The support factors have to be there, and you have to be, for somebody looking to do the same things that you're doing. The support has to be there in failure. So it has to be when things fail or when the shit totally hits the fan. There can be no criticism. There has to be the, honey, you're doing great. And remember, this can be male, female. We're not expecting all men to come to this and learn from this. It's wide open for everybody these days. I mean, that's the beauty of life nowadays, is that partner for you has to be not just a support, but they have to be able to see the vision that you're trying to reach to.
And they have to be able to hold you accountable when you don't think you can do it.
Yes. Oh, very, very.
There's support.
There is.
There
has to be the kick in the ass, but it has to be in a way that is supportive instead of, you can't be passive.
Condescending.
Yeah, passive aggressive in anything. And literally passive aggressive in anything. I'm talking life in general, friendships, anything. Just can't happen. There has to be support. Yeah.
And if there is fault, it has to be forward.
Yes. And there is again, we're going to talk throughout the further videos about School, SKOOL platform, all different ways where like-minded individuals can come together, share ideas, and really have that family atmosphere with respect and no passive aggressiveness. It's growth together. That's the biggest thing.
And I think that's almost going to develop into something that is almost like a brotherhood, man.
Because that's where it should.
I think that's what we need.
Businesses, especially with again back to the arrogance factor, you see so many businesses within this realm that are growing, that are getting to the $5 million point, $10 million point, $100 million point, and when those things happen, what happens to them, right? Arrogance, all these other things on there. There is a change on there. So when you have a good group of individuals, and what being school is going to be essential for is the checks and balances for each other. Like, hey man, watch your last video. Yeah, a little much.
A little bit on the testy side.
A little much there.
And that's okay because we need that. Like, I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, before I post this video, I feel like I might be teeter-tottering right here, because we can be proud of ourselves and proud of what we've done and walk around with our shoulders up and everything too, and some will call that arrogance. I don't see this could be considered arrogant, that we think that we're so special that we are putting on our own YouTube channel.
Of course it could. But if you don't take those chances in life, then you cannot get those next steps.
If we would have done this 5 years ago, right? Oh my gosh! Of course. If we would have done this when I bought that CTSV from you, right? Wouldn't we be in a different situation? I believe in that thoroughly.
There's I'm huge on manifesting. I'm huge on right thing, right time. Nothing comes fast in life. Planning, execution, steps. That's the biggest thing of that, and that's where we're here for today, is to see the steps that does it to get here, and the steps that you can take to better yourself.
Yeah. And let's give them a couple key points on what I think that it's going to take to fully be committed on going all in your business. One, you got to go all in, And if you're single, great, you can focus. But if you're not single, they have to be committed with you. It's not, vacations can't be more important than this, and it's unfortunate when
you can't spend money you don't have.
Right. And it's great when it's there and you appreciate those times, but in business it's not. It's up and down. It's just like life, man. It is just like life. It goes down and it goes up, and it's never always up and it's never always down.
I think that's really an important point too, is I just kind of was thinking about that, is don't spend money you don't have.
Yeah.
That's the Joneses again that we're talking about, because gosh, you can literally ruin
I even learned that lesson a little bit this year. I counted my ducks before I had them all in a row, and I'm now, fortunately, when I buy things that I can sell.
Correct.
So, am I going to make money? No, but I also didn't spend it on stuff that I can't get a return on. Yeah. So it didn't get wasted, because who's to say that if I would have kept the money that I would have actually kept the money, right? So again, everything happens for a reason. I needed to learn that little bit of a lesson. I needed to learn that lesson before I could grow a little bit further. I mean, it's like the same concept. If I know that we have a $100 million business, I know that I have a $100 million business idea up here with Built Not Bought, as far as it goes out into the training and bring other businesses into it, other business owners that want to create and want to teach the next generation of builders and
as a community,
not alone, do it together, and how much further we can go, and how much quicker, and how much it's not going to be, you're not going to be bleeding out for years, and that's what it can come down to, is just bleeding out for years if you just naively or ignorantly, however you want to call it, just keep making the wrong decisions and not willing to pay off the debt. And what I mean by paying off debt is you can pay for knowledge. You can pay someone to teach you exactly what you were trying to do.
Right, and the big piece of that too is you think of just life in general is, you know, any large business, how they got there, right? You have to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people that are I've got this amount of money and it's going to take for me to live every month. I'd love to come to these classes, and there's people literally sitting at their houses right now that have, you know, Build Not Bought's website tagged. They probably have looked at the website 50 times.
Yep.
Have every piece of that memorized. They've clicked the link to.
They pulled their card out.
Yeah, they pulled their card out, and then they've went to the forum and said, "No, I can't do this. I can't spend that money right now," because they're not seeing the return. There is, you know, this week coming up, you're going to get the proof to why.
As to why, you know, I mean,
we'll talk about that here in a few minutes, but keep on going with the storyline as far as where you started taking things with the landscaping.
We dove into landscaping. I kept on just grasping for more, and I wanted to do more. And then it was a drought, and then you got to do something during the drought, and then it's winter, and you got to do something during the winter. And then I learned that it's best to plant after the frost. So that was a great subsidy. I would plant a bunch of landscape installs at the end of the year, and then I would, you know, you had fall cleanups, and then the maintenance contracts that I would get with the commercial jobs, snow removal too. So there's a couple of hits that I get some snow. I mean, you know how it is around through here. It's not much. It's vague at best, but it was nice when it came in. It was something I didn't expect. It was a bonus. It was more toys for the business. This didn't happen overnight. The hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've invested into this company didn't happen in 1 year. It took a conglomerate of years and multiple failed mistakes and multiple bad decisions, but to ultimately end us up where we are, you know. So I dabbled in landscaping that second year, full season, and I got up to, I think, 6 to 7 employees, like horrible employees too, bro, like meth heads. I've had cops at my driveway. I had this one dude wrecked my truck and totaled 2 mowers, and I had to go buy a new mower the next day. I've drove my Xterra to a rented or a borrowed trailer that was like one of those stupid tilt deck 5x8 pieces of turds, just to get the damn job done. You know, running a couple $100,000 business off of an Xterra and a borrowed trailer because somebody totaled all the crap. You know,
they took your entire investments out of play.
Yeah, they took everything, man. I've had it stripped away a lot of times, dude, but I never stopped, and I don't plan on it. So in that respect, I think I've failed like almost every year, if we're being completely honest. Like, I feel like I've failed every year, and that's why I keep fighting for more, you know.
Every single time. So that
I say I failed, but we're
yes, you have failed, but it's not. It's a forward failure.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not forward. You're not bankrupt. You're not taking back square one. We're in a beautiful, you know, building here, a beautiful house up on the hill. It's failing forward, and I've said that before a lot. I've used it a lot just because you really are. You know, in life when we make mistakes, that is the learning point. That it's failing forward. You're always going to do it if you're smart. There's going to be tons of some people out there.
You only learn through doing.
Well, and you have to fail to learn. So it's you get so many people that are just like, oh, I hate failure in general. I'm like, well, that's literally a part of life. If you push that part away, then those are going to be the people that are angry all the time. You know, they're never going to be happy because what they think happiness is absolutely unachievable. Which, you know, you and I have had conversations on tempering the whole achievable part. Set your bar low, because if you don't, especially in a business, if you don't set your bar low as far as what you think a goal is, then you're going to fail every day. I mean, you got to have your goals. They have to be achievable for that check mark.
I think you said big goals. big.
That's your
like,
5-year plans.
Yeah, you set, you go, because we reverse engineer, right? So you set big goals because you got to have a reason.
Yep.
Like all right, so I couldn't get up before, right? I couldn't get up with an alarm before when I was going to Eastman because I was so exhausted. I'm working the same amount of hours now.
Yeah.
Right?
You get up without an alarm.
I don't get up with an alarm anymore. What time do I get up? Anytime between 3 and 5. I got my, and I don't know how I did it, but my body is set to 5 to 6 hours depending on my exhaustion level and my effort. And it's not just labor exhaustion, it's mental exhaustion too. That's a whole different thing that I've grown to like have to deal with is mental exhaustion. Just like looking forward to next week with these guys. I'm not going to be the one out here laboring, but I am going to be exhausted every single day I go home
because you're putting everything into it.
I'm putting everything into it.
What was the change when you were doing all the landscaping that kind of got you started thinking there's got to be something more?
Seeing other people doing it, and I got bored. That's my failing point. Is I get bored. You can only mow a yard so many different ways. You can only make it look.
You can stripe it 5 different ways.
So perfect. You can only
landscape a house one time.
You can only do it so good, you know. And I just got bored, and I didn't want to be just a mowing guy or just a landscaper. And I was like, well, I come from a line of masons, so let's see if I can build a retaining wall. Stopped at a gas station one day. I had been manifesting God, everything works the way it's supposed to, everything comes full circle. Had already been talking to one of my prospective clients about building a wall for him. He was gonna give me a mower and trade out some other stuff just to help me get the job. I hadn't bought him Yes, I had. No, I don't think I bought a machine at this time. I can't remember just exactly. There's a lot of stuff that's happened through the years. But no, I know for a fact I hadn't. I just had a skid steer. And I got that from a friend who just needed some money. All I had was a skid steer. A $20,000 skid steer and trailer combination, an old Cat 257B that clanked every time you moved it, but it did what it needed to.
Exactly. You had the equipment to start the job.
Yes, I did. I was able to start. And I rented an excavator, and I didn't know how to. I learned how to run an excavator through digging out here at my house. When the dude built my house, right? When he was digging here, I'd put my water line in. I did stuff. So I had like maybe 20 hours on an excavator before I was like, I just need to buy one. You know? So I think business owners are stupid and ignorant. And if we were smart, you wouldn't be a business owner. Because you see all the holes in that ship before it ever sets sail. You see every single hole. That's why smart people don't run businesses. That's why you can see the most illiterate, dumb son of a bitch that you've ever met in your life running a $10 million business. You're like, how the fuck does he do that? It's like, well, he's stupid enough to get up every day and fight for it. That's what it is.
He got that money, he bought the equipment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then now let's just take the next step. You know, what's the next step?
What's the next step? You gotta get up and go to work. You know, you solve the next problem every day. If you wake up every day with the goal, one, accept that it's going to suck, accept you're going to get your teeth kicked in, and then accept that you are a problem solver in every facet of your business. Every aspect, you have to solve a problem.
And you touched on it too, reverse engineering. So that's where it's going to separate you from somebody that just sees, oh, I need a wall here, I need this dug out, let's just start digging. No, that's not how you reverse engineer something. You have to see the finish line.
What do you want?
Backwards.
What's your
because
one? Are you going to live in this house forever? That's where I start, man.
Right. But you could waste a week's time of just digging around and not knowing what you're doing if you didn't reverse engineer. You've got to plan things in the proper ways of doing stuff, and that comes with time, and that is a teachable thing. And that's what we're here for.
A lot of stuff. All this. I couldn't be even having this conversation right now in front of you, with you, in front of that camera, if I hadn't started years ago with my phone in my pocket in front of me trying to advertise for my business, trying to get more work, I wouldn't have had, this is a skill set that I've developed, the ability to continue talking, the ability to say talking points that are conducive and entertaining and intriguing. And to be able to just talk, it's all a skill set, just like the one that you've learned through sales and the businesses that you've been a part of and been partnered with and helped grow, and all the different things that you've done, all the stepping stones through life that you've taken have gave you a skill set to do what you can do.
Life is stories, right? That's we all learn about each other and through each other with stories on there. It's everything, stories your entire life growing up. How did you learn about Uncle Bob doing this, that, and the other? It's all stories. It's all things you remember on there. And teaching is just stories scripted.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just everything about that, and we've all learned. Someone had to teach you how to dig a ditch, how to lay that block. Now, where we're at now, YouTube, right? We've all learned how to be better men.
It's a story.
With YouTube, better women at YouTube. It's wild how I love some of the other.
You would have seen some of the stuff I've watched on YouTube.
Oh gosh, it's crazy when you think of stuff too. I saw on TikTok last week something that just made me die laughing. It was some guy that was just coming up and he's like, "I'll fix that, honey," and then he goes and closes the door in the bathroom and he's got his phone on the toilet watching YouTube how to fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I got it.
His wife is in there. He's like, "Oh, he's so handy. He has no clue." Right? It's all learning.
Are you willing to figure it out?
Yes, and it has to be humbling yourself to either A, go search for that knowledge, pay for it, the knowledge, or ask. Those who don't ask are going to stay stupid.
Or you're going to jump in. You can
fail.
You can jump in. You can fail. Pay for your failure. Fix your failure, because your word and your name is everything. So you fix your failures and then you move on.
Yeah. So
if you don't learn from that, if you're that stupid, like you can only touch this so many times. It's hot as hell, right? You only touch that so many times before you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't touch the hot stove, So it's the same thing.
Get out of your own way is another big one.
Yeah.
So first wall, how'd that go?
And it went horrible. I built it wrong. The block came through, the material was there. I hired my uncle to help me for the first season. Just worked out, he needed a job. It was right during COVID. So we all know why we were home.
Yeah.
And my uncle came in and he was helping me. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and everything happens for a reason. I believe in that fully, because I couldn't start this business without him, without the confidence that he brought to the table. And let me tell you, he didn't know jack shit about retaining walls. He just knew how to lay a straight vertical CMU wall, like your basement is built of. Perfect. He can do it perfect. That's why there is some anal retentiveness in the walls that we lay, and that try to make everything is dressed right. And we don't get it perfect every time, but we do strive for it. If we see it, we either go back and fix it, or we try to fix it from that point forward, moving forward. Whatever we're doing, we make a logical decision and we fix it or move forward, right? So we were putting that wall together, and I put the grid in wrong, and sent a picture to the block dealer, and because he was a good installer and he was an awesome guy. And he said, "You did it wrong." I said, "Shit." And I'd already backfilled it. We already had a bunch of gravel in it. It was already a pain in the ass. And he said, "I'll be there in an hour. I'll help you."
Okay.
Yeah. We started tearing it down. Tore it down. He said, "All right. Fat goes back." I'll explain to you in class. Fat goes back every time. So put the grid in right. We built the wall to that phase, and then continue forward with the correct procedure of installing the grid. Wall looks fantastic. Still standing today.
Yeah, well, it should.
Should be.
Right.
It better be, or it wouldn't be here.
That's right.
Right? Proof. So, so much so, I put in my first fiberglass pool, my first $250,000 job this past season in that same neighborhood that I put that first wall in. That was a really cool experience for me. to be able to drive up there and see
And actually
it,
physically see it.
and physically see it, and then know that I'm putting a 15-foot wall down here with a damn 15 by 35 pool in the middle of it with a spillover and 1,000 square foot of patio over top, and you know, it was a beautiful job.
So how'd you get from that first wall to even think about having the confidence to start doing full hardscapes? And you know, where was the transition?
Stepping, everything was baby steps, man. There was
One
nothing
client that just wanted something more.
I open every client, every handshake, every phone call is an opportunity to
And
either.
did you ask them if they wanted more things, or did they come to you and say, "Hey, can you do this? Can you
Okay,
do that?"
okay. I see where you're going with this, Daddy. All right, so I got that first wall, right? At that point, I went to all my customers, knocked on their door, and said, "Hey, I mowed for you for 4 years now. I'm installing walls, and if you or anybody else you know might need one, here's a picture of one I'm doing right now, and it's still actually open. If you want to come see it, you can come see the wall I'm putting in, because I know it's a different business, a different model, and you have every right to be concerned as to why you give me money. And I don't know how much you're going to have to give me, because I don't know how much it costs. We're going to figure it out." Because I had no idea.
Right.
I didn't have a price guide. I was like, meh.
You're looking at what the price is per
We can
block,
figure this
for
out.
the grid, for the gravel, and you're like, well, we can do this.
Look at, yeah, I mean, 15,000 maybe, I don't know, maybe 20,000, I don't know.
And you
first,
failed a lot.
Okay, so that first wall, I took on a mower and some other things. I'm not even gonna go back and try to think if I made
Okay.
money, because I didn't. And then on the second wall, it was a 2-tiered system, two 50-foot walls that were 5 to 6 foot in length each, completely back and height, in height each, and then completely backfilled, and we did papers on top and columns and cable railing, and I think it was like $27,000. So I did a job for you, and you know what buys what, and just from talking about it, sounds like a whole lot more than $25,000.
It's just, it's for me, he built a 127 foot, I think.
Yeah, 125, 130, something like that.
Yeah, 130 foot wall for me, because I'm putting the driveway in, and me being able to watch the process every single day when I came home was one of the neatest things. But then physically seeing all what it really takes, it's wild when you just look at a wall, look at anywhere, look at any wall that's built for a Dollar General or something like that. Just look at that wall behind it and realize that's like $100,000 wall, $150,000, $200,000,
$2 million.
Yeah,
Well, look at the wall up there in Cabela's.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
we
man.
have a, how high is that?
It's got to be every bit of 30 to 40 foot.
Yeah. So think of, once you start learning about this, you're here for a reason, obviously.
So
You
if
should
it's a
have enough
40
about
foot
it.
wall, you're going to have 30 foot of grid behind it.
Behind it, backfilled with gravel. There's
Completely
so much
backfilled with
gravel.
57 the entire way, that 30 foot, because that's a commercial. You ain't skipping shit on a commercial wall.
So, I mean, there's basically just gazillion tons of gravel underneath that nice little pretty grass on top of that.
Yeah,
It's to
with
see,
all those people
Yes.
and that big complex and all those
knowing
cars.
that
It's fucking dope, dude.
So-
we just figured out how to use our camera.
So the pressure, of that wall pushing, just literally against that, and knowing that's right. So you talk to the people. What was your first one after?
So that second wall, they said, okay, well, we'd be interested. And they came and looked at the job that I had open. So I didn't know it at the time, right? But this is all very obvious stuff that you should be doing if you want a job, because I always lead with proof, right? You have to have proof. You don't ever say you can do something unless you tell them you've never done it before.
Correct. Honesty
goes a long way. Now, you can say, I've never done this before, but I've done this, picture, I've done this,
We can do it.
picture, I've done this, picture. Now, if you think I'm capable of doing it, because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be offering my services if I weren't capable of doing it, because that's stupid. And I don't need your money that bad. I'll just wait till the phone rings again. Right. I'll go back home.
And plus, you don't want to. These are clients that you've built up over the years.
Mhm.
You don't want to disappoint them.
No, absolutely.
It's like, you know, you go home at nighttime and you have the pukes and the runs because you're so stressed of learning something new, and you just don't want to disappoint. We don't want to disappoint as humans, right? It's part of it, though, right? That's so the growth of you basically having the cojones to say, I want to do this for you.
I've always led with that and letting people know the truth. It's just like the guys that are coming to the training. I have not tried to hoodoo anyone. I have not tried to falsify any reviews and say that this is the most amazing class I've ever came for and it changed my business by $250,000. That's bullshit because nobody's been here.
They're coming to learn because they have invested already in you.
Yeah.
From what they've seen on social media and everything else, and they can see where the growth factors have happened in your life. And that's what we're explaining now. So for all the other people, that it's going to be for the future growth of the business. This is the why. This is the whole getting to there that a lot of people don't see, and that's why it's long form right now. We want everyone to watch this whole video, watch it while you're watching a TV show or something like that, have it in the background, but you know, see where you can be faster than him.
Much faster and not near as painful. And my gosh, man, when people pay for stuff, they listen, and it's different.
Yes,
it is. I've paid through the years. Honestly, Ryan, I've probably paid not a crazy amount, not near as much as I should have. I'll say that, not near as much as I should have. $20,000 to $30,000.
Yep.
I should have paid a lot more.
And that's really, honestly, for 10 years, it's nothing.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing. And like I said, man, it should have been a lot more. I'd have been there a lot quicker. You pay off your debt. I think so.
Maybe.
I think if you pay off your debt, that your ignorance debt.
Yes.
You pay off your ignorance debt. And what you only know what you know. And you're only around and privy to what you're surrounded by. So you surround yourself with people that are doing abnormal things. You're going to become one of those people that are doing abnormal things.
Right.
You know,
circle as you age gets smaller and smaller, and especially with businesses, you tend to do that. You have your go-tos for everything. Like if I asked you who's your favorite comedy person, you're always going to have those people on there. That's a normal thing because it's trust.
Yeah.
Right. They've shown you the proof. It's a trust factor with
they
what
give
you're
you the
doing.
trust, and you'll give them loyalty.
Reciprocal and everything too. Again, we're going to touch on the school program. That's where we want to build something in there to where we have 100, 200, 300 businesses that we can easily trust to tell you, the consumer, or someone else.
How many answers are going to be right there at your fingertips, man?
Just being in that community. So
and everybody wanting to help, because it's not. Even if you were in your backyard, you would probably still want to help that.
It's like an Angie's List, but actually legit.
Yeah,
you're not paying for somebody that can just pay to be on Angie's List, pay for the reviews, pay for all this stuff, and they come to your house and they can't even take a sink out. So this is real people, real businesses,
and real people building, man. Because imagine now if we have a community member that is in Nashville, right, and they have a job they need help on, and we come to a partnership agreement with them. We go down, we help them construct something that's perfectly viable. Everybody makes money.
Right.
There's what's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That is exactly
we
what
go so much further together.
Yep.
Together. Like I can't do this alone.
Yep.
I need you for this.
Yeah. And it's so cool seeing the symmetry of all these people that are coming to the classes and the growth that you've achieved online, with all the likes and hitting your first 50,000, right? All those things on there. It's like, 'cause that's a lot. I mean, really, we all live in social media these days. We all see what that is. Now, of course, some people, for whatever reasons,
it's
millions
around here. Yeah. I've never met anybody that has a following like me. Now I have, because I've worked for a lady that had a following of a couple 100,000, which made me realize very quickly how not shit I am.
Correct. But it is still in the same aspect. But you're shaping that and doing more and more. So after you're getting now more people that are doing walls. How did that start evolving into hardscape and the pools? Where does that pull into?
It was still all very gradual. It would be one guy asked me, one of my ex-bosses actually asked me if I would do a patio for him. It was my first little round fire pit with a little round patio, like 14, 15 foot diameter, and a small fire pit in the middle and a small little seating wall in the back. And we did that, and he was like, hey, can you do it for me for $5,000? I wasn't naming my prices, man. I was just doing what people would let me do.
And then you start adding lighting into it. So
Yeah,
there's all these aspects of
aspects.
Can you do this?
And that brings the lights bring
yes,
a whole
I
different
can.
aspect to
Yes.
it, because it goes from not only daytime enjoyment, but to evening and nighttime enjoyment.
But you got to learn it.
You have to learn how to sell that.
You have to learn how that is a value-added thing when you're doing it. You have to learn how to physically do that.
How small the cost is and how much you gain from
Yeah,
it.
but you now got to learn electrical work.
Yeah.
Right. So
Dang, that's not
yeah,
bad.
let's add another thing to it. You start putting pools in. Now I got to learn plumbing. Right. So there's growth everywhere in what you're doing. You're learning the hard way. You're learning all these things. And again, if you've already looked at him, on social media, go find all this stuff and see some of these just breathtaking patios and
Thank you.
It's like it truly. I mean, it's there's an art to this. That's what's going to be taught. That is the whole reason the coming here for those things. But you have to have the desire to better yourself and stay better. To do that, and that's what I'm getting at with this, asking the questions of how did you start choosing, like, oh hell, I think I could do every single bit of that. I can finish your landscape. I can put that fence in. I can put that deck in.
I got tired of dealing with everybody else.
Contractors.
I got tired of dealing with people around I didn't want other people to
Your
see
circle.
I didn't want anybody else around my stuff, and I didn't want them getting close to it. And I've seen work that other people have done. I put in patios and pavers around pools that have been completed by other businesses, and they would get to like that finishing point, and then that was the end of their contract, and then the homeowner would have to take over and finish the contract, right? Finish the project. And that was by choice. They elect to do that, right? But still, like, I would go behind it, and pools would be out of elevation, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, anything I think is not acceptable. Like, Jesus, man, we got $2,000 transit for a reason. You can set it within.
These are $400,000 builds.
Yeah,
They
like
have to be
how can
perfect.
how you can't negotiate with that?
Yeah.
It has to be
wild to me
on.
that there someone would think that would be accepted.
Well, see, that's where you get into people that just want money. So you'll have these business models that are made to where I could have invested a lot more money in marketing, bullshit, rah, and gotten my stuff out there a lot quicker before I was ready for it, and just let any sub that would go do it, right? Not caring what the result was on the back end. Not caring if I had to go back and fix it, because I'm just there for the quick dollar.
Correct.
And my marketing and my ad spend is going to outspend your negative word of mouth.
And now you're one neck to choke with these things. So that's where the perfection starts coming into play on these things, because, well, it has to be perfect. The pool has to flow into this, has to do this, the pavers. I'm doing this really cool design on it, can talk to the customer. Yes, it's a crap ton more work for me now, where I'm going to cut this little walkway in with all these cool little pavers and all this stuff. But the end result of that,
what does that add to it? And then you get to put your own mark into it. I hate doing boring stuff.
All it takes is that next customer to see that. The one that, like I said, the $400,000 pool combo, and that was so impressive, because you look at all those aspects that you did in there. That's like, you did the landscaping, you did the black fence, you did everything. The thing that someone came in is pour concrete for you, right? And it's wild to see that you did that.
It is really cool, because I feel like it should just be the normal.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be
is
the standard.
normal. So that is the whole point of every bit of this. That is the normal now. So you have the capabilities now to do those things that now come a second nature.
Well, I think that should be the market, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I feel like when I tell people that a business of me and 2 others, one of them albeit crippled, and the other had no idea what he was doing as far as he has constructive knowledge, just not in my business. Right. Brings a lot of value to the table, just never done it in my business.
Yes.
Now, it was unilateral, or however that word would be used, but it was lateral. It was used and just edit that out. That was fucking retarded. But anyways, all of his skills were transferable.
Yep. So, that's the cool thing too, is getting to the point where you're at now of having the skill set in your head. You have a master amount of knowledge in that noggin, and you're going for more always, right? You now can look at a job using your tools, Jobber, right? All those things, all those apps that help you do all those things you're doing. You're constantly building this business into more, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what can we go to next? Which is
what makes it easier,
which is school, which is all these different things. But what you're doing basically is that growth piece that everyone is hoping for, right? And at your age, you're like, okay, I need to see what the future can be for this. And that's the biggest piece of this, is planning out. I want to be here at a certain point. We talked about that before. How do I get there? You get there through the knowledge piece. And that's what we're peddling, if you want to call it that. We're peddling the knowledge of getting there 10 years faster than you did.
Reaching for it.
Knowing that you have a skill set of being a hard worker, right? You can physically and mentally do the things that it's going to take to build a pergola, build a wall, build a deck, throw a pool in the ground. Knowing how to do those things, those are teachable. That's what Dustin is going to teach you how to do those things. You can take back from wherever you're at. Take it back to Hawaii, take it back to wherever you're coming from, and go back and actually be a successful business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having the support of that's just not it. It doesn't end with the school. It doesn't end like, hey, see you after this.
There's so many things that I do, Ryan, that I think that are obvious and just logical that other people are not doing. Like, I was talking to a marketing guru the other day, and I told her how badly I screwed up my algorithm with Facebook, and this is why my likes have been low for the last couple of weeks, is because I was this is free for all you guys, all right? Free content. Do not put any links in your main post at all, because Facebook will fucking hate you. Because Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. That's why stories get engagement. That's why stories get pushed, because
put them in your
people are
blog.
watching. Yep. So put the links in the comments, put the links in the bio, and it sucks because you got to be like every other influencer out there, link in my bio. Yes. But dude, there's a reason why.
Because they know.
They know. So that's what plummeted the social media for the last couple of weeks, and it's killed the algorithm for me, is because, dude, I was sitting the other day, and I woke up the other morning.
Well, even having a conversation.
I was like, oh my God.
About an algorithm. Come on.
Yeah. I can't believe we're here. But I was talking to that marketing lady the other day, and it's like she had no idea what I was talking about. And it's like, you should know that makes a big, like, you should know that's not a good thing. Like,
it scares me that you don't know that.
Yeah, I think that you should probably not be doing your job.
Yeah, how do you know that and she doesn't?
Exactly, and that's your job, is to spend dollars on Facebook. So I wonder how many ads they're running, paid ads, with links in them, that Facebook is just barely scrubbing under the table, because there's going to be no organic with it.
You look at some of these media people that are full-time social media, and it blows my mind. Hey, how much money they make? It's disgusting. I'm jealous.
It's gross.
I'll throw the hand up. I'm jealous.
It's gross.
See how much money they're making, but it is a full-time job, because they have to know how the algorithms change, how all these things happen,
and why they work, and how to use them to your advantage.
How to monetize what they're doing,
and then how to get people to be interested enough, like hooks and this and that, and you start with this over here because that's interesting. You got to realize that if you don't have somebody's attention in 0.3 seconds, you got less than a second to get somebody's attention.
Speaking of, if you're still here, thank you for hanging this long with us. And secondly, we're not giving everything away here. You have to come to the podcast and everything else on there too. We just wanted you to kind of get a taste for Dustin, to see where he's been.
I haven't opened up too much, have I?
No, you're good. good. The biggest thing on this as well is go look at all the other social media, right? Go invest a little bit of time, because you do have it. You're here for a reason. You have the time. Go spend an hour or two on his Instagram, on Facebook pages.
Call it your poop time.
Yeah, yes, the poop time, exactly. Go spend that time and do that, and then reach out and contact us. Again, this is going to be the first one in a lifelong series on YouTube on it, and
this is our job.
Yep, this is going to be
but
where
I think
he
this
wants
is a
to see
little bit
the
of a
growth.
passion.
Yeah, well, of course, there wouldn't be here if there wasn't a reason.
How long have we talked about wanting to do this?
Well, I wouldn't be sitting here on a Sunday.
Yeah,
with you,
for sure.
because it's my time.
For sure.
Right, that's my time to reset for my week.
For sure.
So I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't want to be here, and to support you, and because I know the media stuff, that's my background and everything too. So, but thank you all again, really from the bottom of our hearts for hanging with us.
Yeah.
And more to come, obviously. So, subscribe to the channel.
You have to, though.
God,
You have to.
please
I don't
subscribe,
know why.
and share.
Why do you have to do that? Is it? I mean,
Do we have to, maybe some spider somewhere, and
do we?
there's if you don't say subscribe.
Yeah, is somebody
They won't
listening
do it.
in? They're like, oh well, they're not going to push it. So please,
Yeah, golly,
please like and
yeah,
subscribe.
I'm not going to like it if they don't tell me to. Be an adult.
That's all. That's so petty.
Come
But
see-
I think I'm confident, man. We're going to deliver enough value.
There's the podcast will be fun. I mean, that's going to be the biggest piece of this is just a little hangout. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys on there. Again, thank you all so much for sticking with us and just learning who Dustin was. That's the biggest piece of this that we're wanting you to gain from this is this man has spent 10 years getting to a point that you could probably do in 5. Let that sink in.
You could probably do it.
You probably do
3.
faster than that.
You could probably do it in 3.
Yeah. That's what the classes are for, guys. That's what we want you to come see. The proof will be there. You'll just stay tuned. We're going to be posting a lot more content about the classes. BuiltNotBought.biz. Go check that out as well.